Rhythm. Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.
Woo! What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Yeah, we're going to discuss the Seattle game recap, of course. Of course, the injury updates. Not a good post-day game or post-game discussion. And, of course, we're getting through our hangover here. Still on our side of things. I feel a lot better now. But, man, I didn't think I was going to make it tonight, so we pushed it back a little bit. Appreciate everybody who was part of that fun last night. Anyways, we needed it for this today's news and info and discussions and all that good stuff. So I'm going to let you handle the intro, baby, because we are going to open this up. Outside of hitting that like for the stream, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell, following us on Twitter, My Cowboys Family, all of that good stuff. We're going to represent those that deserve representation here and that make this thing go round and round right here on My Cowboys Family, right here in MCF. And it is the main man right now. You know why he's here, baby.
Snug X.
Much love to Snug X.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your continued love and appreciation
He's
there.
the sponsor of the week and the Cash App King, and in the lead on both of those sides of the board.
I'm trying to go back to back for both.
Yeah, like our 90s Cowboys. Someone who has gone back to back is Jason Renfro in the subscriber. I guess that's another. The membership gifting. Yeah, the gifting memberships. That's the man right now this week is Jason Renfro. He has a back-to-back, and he currently has, I think, is it a five subscriber lead here? I guess you could say gifting subscriber over Skeptical Fan, who had the first 3 months in a row of domination. But now, Jason Renfro is looking for 3 weeks of domination. We'll see if he keeps that streak alive at the end of this stream. And again, Jason was the stream boss for a long time here. Of course, Mark a longer time. But now Stubby, 1085, 1085 in the house. He's got 88 points, CeeDee Lamb style on that stream boss. So those are the representatives right now. We'll find out a couple new champions or some old champions, some back-to-back or three-peaters tonight at the end of the stream. So keep an eye out for that. Also, got to shout out the star level membership. You know who you are, guys. Lincoln Kane LC from Australia. You got Mary Alvarez. You got Andy Post. You got Dwayne Broussard, the top dog, of course. And you got Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Jason Renfro in the house. That's the star level for you right now, guys. So I appreciate you guys nightly shout-outs. And we also got another shout-out here, which is, you get this super chats. You got memberships. You can jump in, gifting memberships, the thanks button. there's 4 other ways to help out the channel and drop love if you wanna support in that way.
Of course, you have the Cash App, $MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, of course, the Streamlabs link, which lets your comment show up on screen, just like a super chat.
And never forget, baby. I think starting basically at the end of the month, beginning of next month, unfortunately, for our Cowboys. Who's in the house, baby?
Matt Persico in the house. What's up? Hello and hi. Obviously a little bit not so great after yesterday's preseason game between the unfortunate injuries and the libations.
Yeah, the hangovers, right?
Definitely not at 100%, but a little better than I thought I would be after some Excedrin, thankfully.
We prepped right, though. That was a good thing. We prepped in-stream for that yesterday.
So, Tommy Montoya, what's up? Anon in the house, much love. We have Jared Morrison in the house, Double R representing. Let me see. Yeah. Asmodeus in the house. Who, by the way, cracked me up. He's like the murder capital of the world. Yeah. Oh, so let's see. Eric Wallace, hello and hi. We have Scorpio in the house. Frame Rippers, much love. Glad to see you're safe out there. Yes, guys, to all of our Cali peeps and Cali friends. Hope you guys are all staying safe from the hurricane, the tropical storm, whatever it's
earthquake. It's crazy. You guys are getting hit with the triple shot there. That's crazy. Stay safe, brothers and sisters out there.
So we have Luke in the house, Cactus G in the place to be, Andrew Ruiz, what's up? Skeptical fan always staying skeptical.
Yeah.
Austin's Cogswell, what's up?
And, by the way, Skeptical fan, stay tuned, guys. Very soon, I mean, maybe next week soon, we'll be announcing some.
Yeah, to be thankful to Mr. Skeptical fan.
Yeah. Not only because he stays skeptical, we got to all stay skeptical, but there's a little bonus for some people in the house and the membership side of things. We'll talk about that next week.
Of course, Thomas Garrett, the superior.
Oh, yeah.
Garrett, Matt Persico, what's up? We have... Just making sure I didn't got everybody here. Monroe Gadet, what's up? Hello and hi. We had Retro Scotty in the house. Retro. Eric Wallace. Freedom First. I think he managed to be first this time.
Bing.
So, kind of rolling back here. Jared Morrison. Mari Roberts, what's up? So, I think that's everybody here so far. Of course, as more people trickle in, I'll make sure to give them their hello and hi.
Perfect.
So
let's get rolling. Because, again, we know we got to talk about those injuries, but let me start off with just general NFL news real quick.
Yeah, a few other things happened outside of that. So,
well, again, we're trying to get the room a little more filled up, but the Guardian cap, you guys know those little puffy little marshmallow looking hats that they're wearing there on their helmets. The one that Micah Parsons punched a couple of times in that fight, and luckily didn't break his hand because of that. According to all statistics and NFL stats, this is working. It's working from preventing or minimizing, to a major degree, concussions in practices. But according to the NFL bylaws and the guidelines, if a player asks to wear it in the game for his own protection, the NFL would say no. It doesn't fall into compliance with the helmet. You got to show the logo. I mean, I don't know. It's all that stuff's involved in that, right?
So basically, the current rules and regulations for helmets in the NFL just don't jive with these safety helmets for, like you said, a variety of reasons. Not just the need to have the logo facing the right way and this, that, and the other. So, obviously, a few officials are kind of asked, like, hey, so when can we expect them to be allowed, or is that something that's happening since they've been shown to be so effective? And there wasn't really a clear answer. They just kind of said, you kind of see how it's happened now, how things keep progressing. So, never say never. Maybe that'll change in the next 2, 3, 5 years. But as of now, these helmets are not allowed on the NFL field.
These Guardian caps.
And the mushroom helmets.
Yeah, and again, guys, just keep in mind, again, this is supposed to be for their health and their safety. And imagine after knowing this thing works, how does that make you feel if you were a player saying, I want to use this in a game to protect myself and others, right? And the NFL says you cannot wear that safety article. So I wonder in the future, though, we discuss this behind the scenes, if they'll eventually paint like the logos on these Guardian caps so it looks like it's part of a helmet. I know it's going to look funky. It takes some years to get used to, but
going to look like Martians out there playing football.
They would, but they'll all be safe when we want to lose any players to concussions, which is good for them, good for the fans, good for football. Yeah, it looks a little funky. I don't know, just an idea. I just think if it's for the health of the players, it's going to get pushed one day until they're actually all wearing it on that field.
To me, I think a more realistic progression here is, I think it'd be nice to see them made mandatory for regular teams to use throughout the season during practices. Like, you have to use them, you have to wear them. Obviously outside of game day scenarios, it's basically mandatory. That's the way that I see it. Even outside of that, I'm hoping they can kind of adjust the technology so they don't all look like mushroom heads, and maybe they can adapt it for
sleeker,
on the field play. But as of now, that to me seems a little farther away than just at least make it mandatory for all practices, all players, basically a non-game time scenario. I'm sorry, but you got to wear your little mushroom cap.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, though, because I'm all in favor of supporting the health of the players. If a player wants to wear it, he cannot because of the reasons we mentioned. Even though it's weird and it's kind of silly that they have these rules, it is a reason, for NFL, kind of everything has to be, it's kind of like the dress code, right?
Yeah, so,
for the game on the field.
Frame Rippers is like, well, how do they know they work if they've only really used them in these practices, considering that, no one's actually really doing too much hard football work.
Well, such as our location, but you have seen some helmet-to-helmet collisions and nothing's happened. These players have not had the only concussion we had on our team that I can remember right now was Durden, the receiver who dove out for a play, made a nice catch from Cooper Rush's throw in practice, and when he hit the ground, he concussed himself. Mm-hmm. Nothing would have helped that. That's just football. It happens. You're jumping around, but that's crazy. There was no concussions from helmet to helmet stuff. Like remember Rico Gathers got helmet to helmet, and he was out for the whole year. So. Oh, and we got a little droppage right there. Stubby goes to 87, but I can't see who dropped it.
Thank you so much, Jason Renfro.
Jason Renfro with the drop.
Kicking things off on the official side of things. Thank you so much for the classic. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. And yeah, right now Snug X is first place across all the boards there, except for the gifting board. Jason Renfro's got the lead there, but he's in second place across the other ones. We'll see. Maybe he makes a run. You never know.
Yes, and of course, opinions on both sides of the ball. James here said, safety first. What does the logo do anything? Do anyway. Cactus, you said, let's just go to flag football. It's fun unless people get hurt, right?
I mean, again, good comments by the family.
That was sarcastic,
two different, viewpoints on this. Well, I agree. Look, here's my thing. Is it take away from the speed of the game, from the fun of the game, from the abilities of these players in the game? If it does not, and it helps them, I don't care if it looks a little weird. Yeah, let's do it for the health of the players. Not only is it better for them, obviously, that's number one. But you don't want to see, do you want to see Micah Parsons with a concussion? Now he can't play anymore for a week or two, possibly, right?
Yeah, that's why I said that I think that there's a happy compromise where maybe everyone's just using them on
practice only
game day situations. And at least, and the way that it works is just, it does prevent incidental injuries. Like, it's kind of like not playing your starters during the preseason. You can't get hurt if you don't play. And in this case, all those little incidental bumps and bruises or whatever, like all those little reasons you might get a concussion during a practice or during training camp, they've completely been eliminated. So yeah, of course, during actual football times, probably still the chance of you getting hurt, but we've completely minimized, if not almost completely eliminated, concussions now from at least whoever's wearing the little mushroom cap, which I'm sorry, that's what I'm always going to call it.
I look like marshmallow heads to me. I don't know.
Mushroom. So Scorpio said, I added a NOS sticker to my car. I gained 50 extra horsepower, so logos do work. So.
Hey, the logo does it all, right? No, look, it's about compliance with everybody being dressed the same, looking the same. Remember, you gotta have the socks up, and it goes with the logo. You have to have the logo presented. It cannot be blocked. It can change. That rule can change definitely in the near future, in my opinion. If this does continue to be a very positive sign for concussions and such, and again, all the science backs that up. So maybe another 3-4 years, and it becomes part of the the NFL, forcing players to use it, and it's not a bad thing if it doesn't mess with the game in any way. Then I'm cool with that. I'm very, very okay with that. I see 86 points for Stubby. Something happened, baby.
So yeah, Jason Renfro dropped another dollar holler there. Another classic. Go Cowboys.
Always.
I appreciate you, Jason. Much love.
Appreciate it, and always go Cowboys.
Not sure why it's not a.
Because it's under. Oh, it
is $1.
Oh.
So
I don't know. Oh, I think I know why. For some reason it was turned off, guys. I do apologize.
No.
So no, it did register. So
okay,
it's good.
So Jason, it did go through.
The next one will show.
The next one will ring the bell officially.
Ring that cha-ching bell there. So much love, Jason Renfro, on that.
Skeptical fan said, just have everyone take a class on how to be a stuntman. So
they
got to learn how to stop, drop, and roll.
Those head-to-head collisions. Ooh, that's going to be. That could be. That could be minimized a lot, and it could minimize future issues. That's a big step forward. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But it's funny, the hypocrisy, I guess, is that if it works and the players want to use it for health reasons, then why Does the NFL stop them from using that? Like
it
they can alter those rules.
It's a little bit counterintuitive, but what the heck do we know?
Well,
So first of all, Mary Alvarez, what's up? Hello and hi. Hopefully you are also safe out there on the West Coast.
Yes.
I know Frame Rippers is checking in. Thankfully he's doing all right. So I'll probably be asking all of our West Coast peeps how they're doing. So like I said, hopefully you, family, loved ones are safe. Yeah.
Now, as we roll on here, the one last piece of news that I wanted to speak on was about not NFL news. It was about a Philadelphia Eagle player. I'm sorry. Did you want to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to. I'm sorry. Miles Jack. You might say that sounds familiar. Well, former Jacksonville Jaguar, but the key here for him, Miles Jack, he just signed with the Eagles a couple of days ago. Just signed with the Eagles. Was in Philadelphia during their training camp. He just announced today he plans to retire after 7 NFL seasons and 617 tackles. So Miles Jack, now his tenure comes to an end there in in the NFL. It sounds like former second-round pick by Jacksonville. He recently did say he was considering becoming a plumber or electrician before Philadelphia called him and signed him.
Oh.
So he might be going to being a plumber, electrician, or something like that.
Okay.
He'd rather do that than play for the Philadelphia Eagles. Just think about that for a second.
Yeah, maybe it was just a little too much for me. Not worth it. Not worth it.
I guess, not with the Eagles. Now, let's take a quick look at something I think is pretty cool here, guys, although a bit dangerous if you're asking me. Wide receiver Brandon Cooks took Micah Parsons and Stephon Gilmore on an airplane ride up in the sky in Seattle before the game. Brandon Cooks is a licensed pilot, took Micah Parsons, who seemed nervous, and Stephon Gilmore, who seemed very, as always, just cool, calm, and collected. They took him over a plane ride over the city of Seattle. They took him over the stadium. You'll see the video here in a minute, guys. Literally before the preseason game. So earlier in the afternoon, the game was at 7 there in Pacific time. 3 in the afternoon, they're flying above Seattle. And that team bonding is on another level, in my opinion. I mean, here, let me show you guys what I'm talking about.
Look, I trust... When they say trust your teammates with your life, I didn't think they meant it so freaking...
There's Brandon Cooks, guys. And as you can see, Brandon Cooks, and then you see here, Micah Parsons and Mr. Gilmore. And I mean... There's the stadium.
My cheeks are clenched right now. I'm sorry. This is
I did not know Brandon Cooks. He's not just fast on the field, flying in the air. He's actually a pilot, certified pilot.
I do trust his reflexes, but again, man. Maybe it's scary, just the unfortunate recent flight I was on after coming back from visiting family, which basically dropped straight out of the freaking sky like a rock. But this is you have your season in our hands, Cooks. Do you understand the gravity of this situation?
I mean, he's got a lot of high-powered players in there. Oh, shit. That scared me a bit. It was loud. I see 2 legends in the house, baby. I see Jeremy Slay with the 5 on it and a Lavelle silver-level crew with that Tony Pollard holler. Stubby down to 81 points. What do these 2 legends have to say, baby? I'm going to add them on the board here. Huge
shout out to Jeremy Slade. Appreciate you with the $5 holler saying aloha, family.
Aloha. Hey, do you remember Jeremy was an OG here, one of the top guys, man. Jeremy Slade, loved our discussions, man. We've been missing you. I hope you're back for the football season.
Yes, hopefully you and the family doing well.
Yes, hope everyone's doing well. And we have, of course,
Mr. A. Lavelle following that up, said, hold up, wait a minute. We can't just put some Brian Anger in it. We got to put some Tony Pollard into this mix.
Woo.
With his $20 holler saying, what's up, MCF, MCW? What's good, everyone in the chat? Hope everyone is safe and healthy. Sucks about Overshown and Stevens. I hope they come back stronger and better than ever. Rebuild and reclaim the West Coast.
I'm telling you,
let's go Cowboys.
We're going to talk about Overshown, the details on that, but yes, that is a blow. We knew it when I saw it happen. I said the way he got up and fell back down and grabbed that knee, it's just like, it's just that's what it is, And, man, we'll talk about that in detail in a moment. Much love, A. Lavelle. Much love, Jeremy Slade. Dropping that knowledge here on MCF with a little love and support. Appreciate you guys always as we try to go for that 6 and beyond this year. That's what I need to see.
Oh, much love. So, real quick, rolling back. Retro Scotty, have a great night. Take it easy.
Retro.
Let me see. So, very brave men. Again, like I said, the team trust is definitely, I think, at an all-time high.
I mean, it says something about the team to be there like that, in my opinion,
I agree, and not just that, but the bonding activities have definitely stepped up in intensity, right? Like for Brandon Cooks to fly some of his teammates, that feels kind of personal.
I agree. No, it's very like personal. It's
you know what I'm
special,
trying to say?
Actually. Yeah.
So as much as it makes me a little nervous, a little anxiety filled to see it, the other part of me is actually really happy. I mean,
he's a licensed pilot, so it shouldn't be a big issue. But I get nervous. He's got our superstars of our defense
Ford
up there.
is a licensed pilot too. Let's not get into that.
And that's what makes me a little worried. But yes.
Okay, so he did have a co-pilot. Rolando Rodriguez said, and that at least.
Thank goodness. Okay. I didn't even search into that, but I appreciate that.
It's hard to tell with that camera angle there. So trust me, I'm just like, man, that's a lot of trust. A lot of trust. Anyway, Scorpio said, flying's very fun. My coworker was a flight instructor. I got to fly the plane for an hour. I do actually have a cousin who is currently still working towards his pilot's license, but very cool to see from afar on the ground.
You see he's got the grip on that control right there. So, he's as far as I'm concerned, he's doing the work here. Micah, a little bit nervous, I think. I mean, Stephon Gilmore, he's just like, I'm snacking right now. I'm having a good time in the sky. He seems unfazed. And that's what we're going to see from our defense, unfazed. We're going to see that from our corners, Diggs and Gilmore, unfazed. I love it. I can't wait. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Any last comments about this in the chat?
At least they can't get hurt if they're flying the plane.
I guess.
Right? No torn ACLs in the sky.
That part's facts, yes. In the game, it's a different story. Overshown. We're going to talk about this right now in a minute. But any other comments in the chat before I roll on?
Let me see. Ed Fuego 2.0. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Go Cowboys, of course.
Yes.
And thank you again there, Mr. Jeremy Slade. With a 10.
The OG.
Dollar holler there. Appreciate you saying mahalo.
Yes.
And yes, I'm back for the regular season. Been busy. Love you both.
Oh, good, man.
Always
Love
appreciate
you.
Jeremy again. Yes,
Jeremy's one of the OGs here. You guys.
Everyone usually takes the off season to really buckle down, put in the work. We always understanding. Right?
Yes, always, of course, and moving him right up this board right now. He's just like that. A couple quick drops. He's 9th on the board.
El Fuego, our Cowboys are on that plane. So Brandon Cooks is the one flying it, and
he's a co-pilot,
Parsons and Gilmore are the cargo.
Yeah, they're in the back seat just chilling. I just laugh every time I see Micah. I can see him, and I don't think he's that competitive. I mean, he's extremely competitive. One of the most competitive guys I've ever seen, but I don't think he's competitive. I want to learn to fly next. Gilmore just chilling. That's all. He's just chilling.
Right, so skeptical fan, that's a double-edged sword, because on one hand, yes, obviously, it is a little disturbing how many celebrities and things like that have passed and crashes and things like that. But on the other hand, think about it this way. Statistically speaking, the people who are most likely to be on planes or be on helicopters and things like that are probably the people who have the money to be in one long enough to end up in a situation where something like that could happen. Just saying, statistically speaking, the average person is far less likely to have something happen to them in a situation like this than someone of means. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and also, I think also the
the
fact that we have
crashing my
two
Lamborghini.
things. Again, if you look at our regular airplanes, back and forth travel stuff. I mean, thousands are going around and nobody look. Thank goodness, that's a job you got to have perfection in. And I think that I know these smaller planes, it could happen a little easier. We saw it happen with the Kobe Bryant situation. Anything can happen, even the most experienced pilots. But the thing here is, there's so many of these planes flying around. The chances of this having any issues is 0.01%. But yeah, I guess they could be driving to the stadium and have something happen. There's a bigger chance of an accident dying to the stadium than in the plane. So we'll see. I'm not trying to scare everybody. I'm just trying to show everybody what the team was doing literally the afternoon of this preseason game. And these three guys were not playing. So it's not like they have to get ready for the game. They're just going to be chilling on the sidelines. Yeah, that's all. I didn't want everybody to get upset. I just want to.
I know. Look, let's move on from this before we start thinking of even more examples. Like the skeptical fan said, "I seen the La Bamba movie," which just makes me think of Little J as well. So.
I know she loves that whole situation. Not loves it that it happened, but she really is into that part of the history of music. And it just look. Yeah, you guys make me nervous thinking about it.
Shout out to war veteran, former Cowboys Super Bowl champ Chad Henning, who flew an 810 Warhawk.
Yeah, now he was an actual pilot in the military, so that's a whole different situation. But Brandon Cooks is a licensed pilot and he has a co-pilot, so we're safe. It's just, to me, it's more the amazement that this was before the game. Like, this is kind of cool. I don't know.
Well, anyways. I mean, if you're not actually playing the game, it's probably a lot easier to hop on a plane and take a sky tour.
Without question, I agree.
No. Let me see. Yeah, El Fuego, very, very brave men are Dallas Cowboy players. And like I said, the team bonding, what are they going to do next? Skydiving? Actually, can they? I don't think they can. Per their contracts.
Corey Hicks said Buddy Holly, which was a La Bamba situation, right? Richie Valens had John F. Kennedy's son, the crash, Kobe. I don't want to go through this anymore.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, let's keep it rolling.
But luckily, there's millions and millions of others that have taken millions and millions of plane trips like this, and nothing's happened. So that's the good news. Now, let's talk about bad news for our Dallas Cowboys, and that some injuries yesterday. If you look at our thumbnail, can't miss the topics here. You're seeing John Stevens Jr. You're seeing Deuce Vaughn. He had a great game there. We'll talk about the recap a little bit more in a minute. But DeMarvin Overshown, linebacker, rookie. Both these rookies, undrafted John Stevens, number 49, and of course, looking fantastic. DeMarvin Overshown, man, that's the killer for me. And for all of us, it's the killer that we didn't want to see. But as soon as this happened, we called it. We knew it. I was hoping for a better guess, but man, it's unfortunate today we got the answer. So last night there were 3 major injuries, all right, and they were all young depth, all right, 2 rookies and 1 second-year guy. DeMarvin Overshown was carted off, as you see in our thumbnail, with a knee injury, all right. Swing tackle Matt Waletzko left the game with a shoulder injury, did not come back, and then our breakout camp superstar number 49 tight end John Stevens Jr. left the game with a knee injury, didn't come back. So all right. We knew the Overshown situation, and we heard that today, the confirmation. First and foremost, last night the Cowboys already had feared that Overshown would have had torn his ACL. So again, 2 people familiar with the situation said that an MRI was going to be done today to get the nature of the injury. Right. So again, the team hoped for good news. Everyone kind of knew what it was, and today it was proven that unfortunately, DeMarvin Overshown tore his left ACL last night in his preseason game against the Seahawks. And we know that this is the person right with the diagnosis. The doctor probably said this. The season is over for this promising young rookie 3rd-round pick. I know Jason Renfro. This was his guy, and he was looking like that guy on that field. These training camp games, the weeks, and these 2 preseason games. First, let me halt for a second because the man Jeremy Slade is back in the house, dropping that $10 holler.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Knocking Stubby to 61 points. I want to hear what Jeremy Slade had to say, baby.
He said, "This Cowboys platform got me through a lot. Couldn't have been on the level I am today without you both.
More.
And prayers for Overshown, Stevens, Deuce. It's going to be special."
Yeah, Deuce will be special. But, man, I hear about these players that are injured. And Jeremy Slade, man, we're just happy to be able to be there for you, with you on good, bad, and ugly, right? We talk about our Cowboys, good, bad, and ugly. We know everyone has – listen, we just had a friend die yesterday, on our stream, not on our stream, but on our stream we discussed it. He had passed away earlier that morning, and it was, life stuff can rattle you, man. It's about staying the course and trying to, keep these people alive in memories. And again, for us, it was also,
but there really is something to be said about the constancy and the flow of football that really does feel like
something special.
Like some days, some weeks, it's really just like, man, I can get to Sunday. I can make it to the Cowboy game. So anyway, real quick, again, let me go ahead and hit up the chat real quick.
Happy to be a part of that. And by the way, Jeremy Slade, he's in 7th place right now on the stream. Also, Trayvon Diggs-like performance.
Yes, and rest in peace, Camel, always.
Yes.
Unfortunately, obviously the Cowboys were hoping for some slightly better news when it comes to the injury front. But... and there's a bit of a back and forth, right? Like, what's his face walked off under his own power to the 10, and then it was like, but then he was carted back to the locker room, and then we saw him walking back into the locker room afterwards, and he was just dressed in regular clothes. He was just walking.
If you checked our video earlier that we uploaded, we'll play it here and talk it through a little bit more. But you'll see at the end of the video, and maybe some people may not have noticed, but that was DeMarvin Overshown walking into the, this is at the end of the game, so he's already way after the cart, right? He's walking around, so you're figuring maybe it's a good sign. Listen, I said this last night. I said it's not really good news here, because even if he walks off, which I didn't know he did that, I say even if he walks off, it doesn't mean he doesn't have a torn ACL or MCL. So seeing him walk back to the locker room, it felt better, I guess, but the news, like I said, was not good today. And Overshown tore that left ACL. Season is officially over for this promising 3rd-round pick. Obviously a horrible break for Overshown. Even with the small sample size in training camp and in these games, there's no doubt in my mind that Dan Quinn was ready to make a role for him. Like, I could see him being the replacement to like the Jaron Kearse need when you throw a safety down there in the box, right? That's our answer, is Overshown. With the explosiveness he had, I mean, that was a big, and he was a rookie, right? So he had, now we got to go back, and again, we know about what happened. Gallup with the torn ligaments, and it took him basically now he's a year and a half, and he looks like he's back to normal now. So I don't want, I mean, Overshown's gonna have a year before we get to training camp again. So that's gonna be like the only good thing is a whole 12 months. He should be ready to go, but I hope mentally he's ready to go as well. That's the big roadblock.
Yeah.
In that first season back.
And as we know, he wouldn't be the first or the last player to obviously show lots of potential, have an injury kind of sideline him, and then next thing you know, when he comes back, it's like, you never quite find yourself in that same groove that you were in. You were in right before you got hurt, right?
We hear about Jabril Cox, and we heard about Michael Gallup. It's the same trajectory, unfortunately, for Overshown, although, like you made this point to me, he's better than all the other guys coming into this, for the rookie year. He's already ahead of all these guys in a way, Cox, and. So even if he does have some kind of regression or a little bit of something, like, he's not going to be starting at the same, like, kind of floor level that some of these other guys are starting at as well. Yeah, so, I mean, it really sucks. So Overshown, again, just a little more detail on this here. I think that he would have been, Quinn would have found a beautiful role for him to get, let me put it this way, 10 to 15 snaps. So now my question is this, baby. This is where my question lands me to. Mm-hmm. Micah Parsons is technically a linebacker. He could move back there if needed. LVE and Damone Clark are the other two starters. So that's our starting crew there. We usually only use two linebackers. But after that, it's a huge drop-off. Will Jabril Cox be able to cover that spot? Jabril Cox is the big question mark there, and it's a big drop-off from Overshown to Cox. Then you have Devin Harper, who I think is doing better, but is he ready to go? We all know he's probably not ready. Malik Jefferson is hurt. He's having a good camp, but he's hurt. He missed this game, so we can't really judge him there. And, you got a couple other guys, but how do you feel, guys? I don't feel good about the depth. That's one of the painful parts about this injury also.
Yeah, our depth, I'm just saying, our depth situation went from, like, depth we don't even know her, like, like, in a good way, right? Like, man, like, we are so set. We can move these guys around, and we're going to feel so comfortable. We can take the types of hits that we're maybe anticipating. Like, we can take a few beatings and still get back up and still be solid, staying consistent. And now it's like, oh, great. Yeah, well, all that. I'm just saying, like, it feels like a lot of the work that went into that depth is now a little bit.
Well, it's definitely rattled because, again, we were afraid of the depth before Overshown's performances because we didn't know how that was going to show up. Now he showed up.
Yeah, made us feel a lot better about it.
And Jabril Cox played a little better too, but he's now the fourth guy, right? So to me, it's about now what's going to happen if, number one, we were going to take those 10 or 15 snaps, use it for Overshown. Who's going to take those snaps? Is it Jabril Cox? Is it the safeties like Donovan Wilson or Jaron Kearse? Could they fill in those snaps? I think they can, but if an injury happens, then what do you do? That's the bigger issue. Brandon James Shea in the house, dropping that 5 on it.
Woo! Thank you, Brandon.
Putting it down. What did Brandon have to say, baby?
He said, also, second-year offensive tackle Matt Let's-Go left the game with a right shoulder injury.
Yeah, I'll describe that in a minute. Better news on him, though, at least. Better news on him, right? Right, Brandon?
Yeah, at least the shoulder is not as dangerous as the knee, I suppose.
Big time, big time good news there. But again, anywhere we need depth, I'd say it was before the season, before we got into training camp, it was linebacker and offensive line. But I think now it's now we felt better about the linebacker depth. Now it's offensive line is obviously on the forefront. But luckily we didn't lose at least some depth. Now is Let's Go the answer to everything? I don't know. I think I'd rather have Overshown than Let's Go right now. So yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate situation there.
Yeah,
now,
Double R said, like I said, the only thing keeping the Cowboys out of the Super Bowl this season will be injuries, in my opinion. So basically, as long as our team can stay overall relatively healthy, we will be able to knock on the door of the promised land with this squad that we currently have.
The thing I wanted to just kind of say again is that if you have two linebackers we're using, and sometimes you only use one linebacker. So LVE and Damone Clark, you could also throw Micah back there, I guess, if you wanted to. Then we have to look at an edge rusher. Then you have some Kearse and Wilson you put in there in the mix. I think you can make up the 15 snaps or 10 snaps that Overshown might have gotten this year. But then you got to worry about if someone goes down, who's the replacement at linebacker? Do you just go softer at linebacker and you try to have your safeties come up there, I think that's too much reliance on safeties. I think that's a bad idea. So now it becomes, do we roll the dice with the guys we have right now, or do we go out there and start looking for new, a cut or something here coming up, and then and they do the 90 to 53 man cut, which is next week. That's when we have to have our eyes peeled to see which linebackers are running around out there. We have to sign for $2 million to fill in that depth. That I'm a little bit worried, but again, we have a lot of answers to kind of stay that depth. But is it enough to last the whole season? That's the question. I don't think so. So with Overshown gone, it's a major blow for his career. Again, next year we'll see how he can get back in there sooner than, let's say, Gallup did. That would be great. Sooner than Jabril Cox, that would be great. But his injury did occur, of course, a lot earlier than Michael Gallup's and much earlier than Jabril Cox's as well. He was already 2 months into the season with Jabril Cox. Here we're just not even in the season yet. So he's got an extra 2 months than everybody else to get back full strength by training camp or, as we get ready for next year. But again, it's sad that we're not going to see him. We will get through this. But now when you look at this year's team, you're looking at a depth opening there on the linebacker side that we got to somehow, I think, figure out and kind of, fix, I guess you can say. We'll see. I know, like I said, guys, Curse, Wilson, that's an answer for temporary fixes, and it will help, the situation. But also, if you have Damone Clark, LVE, you're good there, and Micah's still edge rusher. So you got the guys to kind of do that stuff. Overshown's not missing anything in that picture, but when you have those overshown snaps that maybe Dan Quinn was in his head, he's got to replace those snaps with the guy that can do it best. Not play the best at linebacker, but replace the overshown snaps. Like what was the plan for Overshown? Whatever that plan, you got to have a faster, quicker guy. Maybe you got to put in, Mukuamu or something like this. Maybe you put in a guy like that if you want to replace what he was kind of showing you who's going to be able to do.
Yeah, but it still kind of leads back to the previous point of, damn, our depth just took a kicking.
Yeah.
And Brandon James Shea just dropped
another 5 on it right there.
Holiday. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you.
Brandon is now all the way in 8th place on this board. He's moving on up here, baby. What did Brandon have to say?
He said the Saints signed ex-Cowboy and Giants linebacker Jalen Smith.
Yeah, that's right. And he actually looked good yesterday. I think some people are overhyping him out there. I'm not going to mention names, but I think that he's, he looked good, right? Again, I just think that in certain situations he's going to have some major issues, and we'll see what happens. When he crosses that bridge, I guess. But he did look, he was looking okay. I will say for the Giants last year, his Saints signed him. The Saints were also looking at Anthony Barr. And I think he was signed. Wasn't he signed by someone? I don't know. But either way, Anthony Barr might be, an option again. Who knows? I don't know. If he's around, I think he got signed. So don't kill me if I'm wrong on that one. But, that's kind of the situation there. And I hear you there. I know Jalen Smith is now with the Saints there.
Yeah. So, hey, wish him the best, right?
Yeah.
So, Stealthy, what's up? Hello and hi. Jeff Coughlin, what's up? And that Smith, thankfully, like we said, no longer our problem. Yeah. So, Jalen Smith can do whatever he wants. Right?
Yeah. So, look.
That's the best part.
Look, Jalen Smith can provide some help. I don't think he's a long-term fix for any team. But either way, good luck to him. Now, Overshown, he wasn't the only injury, guys. Unfortunately, and this guy was on the up-and-coming list here. One of the guys I had here, maybe passing Hendershot up, was number 49, John Stevens Jr., And so what's the deal going on with him, right? Well, he just had a leg injury. He should be fine. Guys, now we know he also had an MRI. We knew it was coming, but we didn't know this was coming. Also has a torn ACL. And that puts number 49 out for the season. In both these guys' rookie years, both these rookies turned heads. Both these rookies showed real potential. They're both now out for the freaking year. John Stevens, number 49. He suffered, again, let me be specific. He suffered an ACL tear, but it was multiple ACL tears. I don't even know how you can do that.
I was going to say,
I don't know if it tore all the way through. I don't know.
No, or maybe he tore, the two different parts of the ACL muscle itself because of two different movements. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, both Overshown and John Stevens Jr. are out for the year with the same ACL tear. And what's going to happen with both these guys? John Stevens and Overshown go on IR, injured reserve. They have their surgeries. They probably have to wait for the swelling to go down a little bit, and then they can have their surgery. But this is obviously terrible news. Now we have to stash them on IR. So they don't take up roster spots. So, what this team tells me, guys, is for Overshown, I mean, maybe Devin Harper now makes the team for sure. And maybe Malik Jefferson makes the team for sure. At tight end, you have Ferguson. Now you have Schoonmaker, Hendershot, and McEwen. Those are the 4 tight ends now, guys. It's going to be, I don't think there's going to be a chance for someone like Princeton Fant or someone like Seth Green to get in there and really cause any kind of ruckus. Ian Bunting. It's going to be the 4. McEwen was the guy on the bubble here if Stevens made that move in there and was able to. But now it opens a spot up for Devin Harper, number 50 on linebacker, with Overshown gone. It opens up a spot for tight end Sean McEwen to come back to the Cowboys, number 84. So that's the situation on both of those injuries. The last injury, and I'm only leaving Overshown there because he is the representation of the injuries right now, unfortunately for us. But Matt Waletzko, he suffered. Now you guys said, I know Brandon said a shoulder injury. I have the actual injury. It's a shoulder subluxation. All right, and
so that's the official
wording of it. And again, the news on him today is a lot better than what I've just been talking about the other two guys. Much better news. The shoulder injury he suffered it against the Seahawks yesterday in preseason. He should be okay. It is not the same shoulder or the same injury that he suffered last year in his rookie year that ended his rookie season. So this means he's okay. What was the actual more kind of the time frame on this? A person close to the situation described it as, quote, day to day. Day to day. That's a big break there. Well, let's go. Again, following this right shoulder. Again, it's his right shoulder that got injured, right? Now, no surgery is needed. That's huge, or else he's out for the year probably. He missed most of last year because of the left shoulder injury. And that was fixed. Now he got the right shoulder injury, subluxation, but it sounds like he's got day to day. It's just a temporary thing. He'll probably be back fighting for his spot there. Maybe against the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, this week in preseason, or next week in preseason, right? Our last preseason game. So, any thoughts about this, baby? Any thoughts from the family in the chat about the other 2 injuries, not just Overshown, but John Stevens Jr.? Yeah,
I mean, again, it just sucks that both of the guys that, like I said, have season-ending injuries were 2 guys that were showing such promise. It really does just feel like just a candle snuffed out way too soon. But if you want to look at it from the other side of things, besides all the things you've already brought up, I guess at least it creates an opportunity for other guys to step up, right? Like you mentioned Jabril Cox earlier. Well, step it up, Jabril Cox.
Or we're in trouble.
It's up to you now. I don't know.
Or we're in big trouble. I'm saying we got to have that depth somewhere in there and let Dan Quinn get another piece in there that we can count on. Right now, I don't think we have that right now, past, because of Overshown being gone. He was the guy we were going to count on.
Mm-hmm. So, let me see. Cedric Taylor said, we have to hit the waiver wire now.
Again, I'm not against that. I think the Cowboys want to wait for the guys that are on teams. And then, again, according to a lot of people, the Cowboys will be making a move or 2 when cutdown day hits, which is August 29th, 4 p.m. Tuesday. When that day hits, next Tuesday, not this one coming up, but next Tuesday, the Cowboys will probably make a move and stick a guy or 2 on our 53-man roster before they go in through the waiver wire. That's when you get your best. That's when you're gonna get your best options. Right now, the options that are out there probably either want too much money or are not any good. Let's be honest. We know that's the case with the offensive line situation.
So, let me see here. Cedric Taylor, what's up? Saying we have to hit the waiver wire hard now. So, hey,
we'll see.
The Cowboys.
Again, they might wait till the cuts.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see anybody hitting the waiver wire hard outside of, Jerry's own already predetermined schedule. So, which is, of course, unfortunate there. Jeff Coughlin said, these guys aren't going to kill us. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just too bad we delay these guys' potentials. Not just for this year, but in the future.
Exactly.
That's the big loss there. So, there you go, guys. The update on Overshown, the update on John Stevens Jr., the update on Waletzko, who is back. Well, how good did these guys do yesterday? When you look at the PFF, the guide, it's a guide. It's not the tell all, say all, 100% all. It is just a guide for our, for how these players did. Every player does in the NFL. The 5 highest grade Cowboys on offense versus Seattle last night. And I don't know if these are in any particular order, but Jalen Tolbert, who had a fantastic game, a second back-to-back great game. He is our number 4 receiver, just letting you guys know. Dontario Drummond, number 19. He actually had a very good game as well. But again, against fourth stringers, we know. We had Cooper Rush had a fantastic game. Remember that one drive of 17 plays? Took up 7 minutes. There was hardly any mistakes. It was all Texas Coast run and shoot. Not run and shoot, but the West Coast kind of offense. And Cooper Rush, Will Grier, Dak Prescott, they will all be able to work this system. It's pretty simple. So Cooper Rush did great yesterday. Jalen Moreno-Cropper, another receiver who had a couple catches, his best game so far, his best performance. He did not shy away from the lights like other guys kind of did at receiver. And believe it or not, guys, Josh Mother effing Ball had a very good game yesterday. You got to give him credit. Like, we're always criticizing him, but he, number 75, had a good game, and he played mostly at guard. So he allowed, last week against Jacksonville starters, who are better than Seattle starters, but last week against Jacksonville starters, he allowed 3 pressures. He got beat 3 other times that did not result in pressure last week. So he had like 6 possible pressure situations he gave up last week. It was horrible for Josh Ball. He did not get beat one time against the Seattle Seahawks starters in this game. So that's a good sign for Josh. Again, Let's Go did good. Ball did good. So these are the guys slowly coming up to the situation. I know Austin Richards also did very good. So we got a couple guys. I got to give them credit for being maybe our best 3, offensive depth linemen. Maybe Farniok in there as a 4th. But that's what it looks like right now. A good bounce back performance by Josh Ball. I got to say that. Also, a guy who's not on this list. I'm going to say this, guys. Turpin, again, Kevontae Turpin did a great 3rd down catch. It was like a 3rd down and like 8, and got a 1st down, which eventually led to a touchdown by Rico Dowdle in that drive. But it was Rico Dowdle. I mean, he had a great, nice little touchdown. It was really the scheme more than it was an individual play. But Rico Dowdle stepped up in pass protection on that pass to Kevontae Turpin. So if you're looking for pass protection backup guy, compared to Malik Davis, missed on the safety that was allowed. He missed on the blocking there as the protector. So Malik Davis to me falls to 3rd definitely on this list, or 4th on this list, with Deuce 3rd, 2nd Rico Dowdle, and 1st of course Tony Pollard. To me, his blocking, saving on that 3rd down play by Rico Dowdle, putting out there that allowing Turpin to have time to be able to run his route and make that catch from Cooper Rush, or I think it was Cooper Rush, that right there tells me that Rico Dowdle is ready to be the number 2 running back for the Cowboys. Just based on that one little play there. So keep that in mind. As long as he doesn't fumble the ball, I think that Rico Dowdle is set for that number 2 spot.
I mean, it's hard to disagree with you there, baby, again.
Yeah, so I mean, just say, hey, see, I like when you agree.
So, you can be right every once in a while.
Any other quick comments on the family or
Scorpio
from you?
said Tolbert was on fire.
I agree.
He is killing it. So yes, I honestly, the evolution of Tolbert has to be one of the bigger feel-good stories of this past
he's made the biggest
handful of weeks.
He's made the biggest jump
into the season. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and not just that, but like I said, the expectations that were placed upon him last year were just insane. So it is so nice to see it, at least evening it out a little bit.
I mean, if CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz are running into each other on routes on Kellen Moore's offense, and how do you think a rookie Jalen Tolbert's going to do, right? So that was the reason why. Kellen Moore, believe it or not.
So, let me see. Double R said, Tolbert did look really good in my opinion.
Yeah,
so,
2 games in a row, by the way.
Yeah, undeniable, the Tolbert situation there. So, let me see. Jeff Coughlin said, it's hard to watch the boys in preseason. They don't start anybody anywhere. The non-starters hold their own against the opponent's number 1s.
That's one of the biggest pluses I think people are overlooking. The fact that our offensive line and our offense was able to move down the field against their starters and score and be up 7-3 against the Seattle Seahawks starters, a playoff team in the NFC. Not that that says much, but still, that says something about our team. And then the defense, baby. I mean, last week against Jacksonville, a pick against Trevor Lawrence from our 5th-string corner, or safety, Wanye Thomas. And then you have, this week, again, our starters hold them to a field goal. They had 2 nice runs, and outside of that, they didn't do ish when they had their starters in with Geno Smith and crew on offense against our defense, our Eric Scotts and our, Butlers out there, number 40. I mean, these guys are not making. Some of these guys are not making the team, and yet you're seeing. Oh, by the way, I wanted to shout out.
Thank you, too.
You gotta be a little,
Sorry about that, but yeah, Zabron Sarah. Thank you for subbing it up.
Much love. Welcome to the family. So, anyways, so when I look at this and I see, the way that this was handled, I think, in our team, just generally speaking, I really like the way that the offense and defense are going against starting quality opponents. And that's our backups. And really the biggest group that I think had a nice big jump yesterday as a group was the offensive line. And I hate to give them credit because I do think we're still too weak to go into the season this way, but they did 10 times better than they did earlier in the week. And if you look at McCarthy's game plan with Cooper Rush or Will Grier, but especially with Cooper Rush, look at that 17-play, 7-minute drive. And this is what the Cowboys are going to try to do all year.
Yep.
They're going to have either a tight end, a receiver, or a running back on each side of Dak Prescott to be open at all times. As soon as the defender takes a step one way or the other, Dak knows exactly who's going to throw it to. Cooper Rush knew it. Will Grier, I don't know if he can do it, but my point is that Dak and Cooper Rush, they're in the system already. They know how it's going to work, and they see the breakdown. Okay, once this safety goes here, trust McCarthy. Trust the play call and trust who's going to be open. That's what I think it's going to be. It's going to be two reads. That don't happen. That breaks the pocket.
So we're just going to play Deuce, so we need a touchdown.
Listen, I believe Deuce is getting himself a spot in this team, and he's going to be a spot in a rotation of starting situations, right? And I mean, 3rd and 16, Deuce is in the game. You got a red zone, Deuce is in the game. There's going to be the situations you're going to see Deuce in the game. Now, 4th and 1, no, you probably don't want Deuce in the game, but there's even ways of using him there if you really wanted to. So, I think I caught up most of the comments. Let me keep it rolling here, guys, because we're almost done. And I tell you, it's a quickie tonight. Big news is the injury news here, of course.
So make sure to take a second to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Follow us anywhere, everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Hop in the Discord. Links down below as well.
Yes. So, sorry. I wanted to kind of go to the defense now. And I'm going to show a little video here in a minute, but I want to go to the defense and kind of wrap it up here. This is kind of the end of my kind of portion of things, but I got a couple of things to discuss here. The 5 highest graded PFF guys on defense versus Seattle. The Marvin Overshown in the mix, guys, in the top 5. And even though with the small snaps, yes, he only had 8 snaps or 6 snaps. I don't know, it wasn't that much. Even with the small sample size, he was still a top-rated defensive player through the PFF analytics. Chauncey Golston, number 99, actually had a good game. D'Angelo Mandel, I guess. He actually, that's your jersey, number 38. He actually knocked the ball down. He was involved in a couple of plays, some tackles. He actually did a pretty good job there. Again, maybe trying to get on the practice squad. That's what he's fighting for. Kelvin Joseph had a good analytical night, so that's a big win for him. He does that, and he's going to play special teams. He's got a spot on this team. And Jabril Cox, number 14, the guy that we really need to see stepping up with Overshown gone. Jabril Cox came in there and had a very good analytical PFF-rated game. We, of course, got to see that more often, every week, in practice. He's going to get his chances now. Trust me on that. So when you look at these guys, though, the one guy, I want to take out a couple of guys on this list and actually talk about some of the bad as well. But Kelvin Joseph, he finished this game with a game-high 2 forced incompletions. He was also targeted 3 times. He only allowed 1 catch for 13 yards. He's still got to get better there, but he's our 5th or 6th cornerback. Dallas also, we know we're going to have some real tough decisions on the 53 to make some cuts, especially in that secondary. So, again, he's fighting for a spot. We know he can play special teams well. So that's what makes us sometimes some of the difference there. Now, I do want to say one more thing about Kelvin Joseph and Dan Quinn. Mm-hmm. The ability to play more off coverage in Dan Quinn's scheme from the slot position, which is where Kelvin Joseph's not playing the outside corner. He's playing slot corner here for us a lot. So the ability to play more off coverage like an outside corner does, that's why Kelvin Joseph kind of has Quinn's eye. He can play off coverage as an outside guy, but Quinn wants him to play it in the slot. So because of that ability, it's been extremely beneficial for Kelvin Joseph at Kentucky. Some of his best snaps, his best plays, came when he was allowed not to play press, but to play when he played off coverage. So that's an important little alteration there. Maybe we're seeing Dan Quinn using him properly and finding the right spot for him on this defensive secondary. So again, guys, you got to remember, he also a lot of times Kelvin Joseph when he gets closer into a press kind of coverage situation, he's kind of hurt himself a lot of times. He gets beat a lot. You've seen him in the practice. He'll get beat and gets once the receiver gets behind him. When he plays off ball, he plays about 3-5 yards back. He has a chance to adjust better, and that's where he is better. Dan Quinn sees this, and he's trying to get Kelvin Joseph to basically get the most out of his skill set, out of his strengths. When he's playing off ball, he does not get into a scramble situation. He's scrambling to catch up in the play. He's in the play already. Like he's already kind of caught up. When he's on the line of scrimmage playing press, he gets beaten right off the coverage there. So now it lets his physical gifts. He's not that big of a guy, but it lets him play off ball, which makes him be that quicker guy that I think we've seen him do, and Dan Quinn has also seen him kind of maybe excel there and show some skill strength there. So I think that is what Dan Quinn's trying to do. So, that's one of the things I want to talk about Kelvin Joseph. I want to kind of finish this with our top pick, Mazi Smith. And the reason I'm bringing him up here, guys, because, again, to me, again, number one, he's our first-round pick. So Mazi's up on that screen. Obviously, a lot of positives and negatives on this pick that people have. A lot of people like it. A lot of people hate it. I don't mind it. I liked it. We all know it takes some time for these guys to, develop into a full-time kind of defensive tackle. Now, in the NFL, I don't know if people know this, but we've been talking about this for years. The hardest position to transition from the NFL, from college to the NFL and get to the top of your kind of trajectory is at defensive tackle. Unless you're Aaron Donald, it's not going to happen for you until your second or third year, most possibly.
It's the slowest developing position, let's be honest. Like that's the one where you have to put in the grunt work. You have to just get through it and do the type of dirty work that gets you to the other side where your skills are actually finally there, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, Mazi's acclimating to the NFL. So you got to always remember, and this is basically, guys, every lineman is very hard for them to reach their potential in year one, even in your first round pick. And that's why people don't pick defensive linemen in the first round. I'm talking about edge rusher. I'm talking about interior defensive tackles. So remember, guys, defensive linemen, defensive tackles, even though, and rookies too at most positions, but especially defensive tackle, rarely reach their potential in their rookie year, in their year one. So again, I'm not trying to set it up. I want to see him. I understand that he is not going to be a full-time pass rusher right now. It might take him a year to develop that. But I got to see him, as a first-round pick, I got to see him be able to stop the run. And as you're going to see here in a minute, guys, he had some issues stopping the run. Now, I do want to say something else, too. This is the second fucking game, all right? And Dan Quinn was asked about this. Dan Quinn was asked about Mazi Smith. And again, regarding the top pick, Mazi Smith, Dan Quinn asked this here. Basically, he was asked, do you really think he was going to flash this preseason? In the sense of like showing all these skills, Aaron Donald type skills in preseason in his second game or anything. Dan Quinn said that, quote, Mazi's not being asked to penetrate and go up the field. Dan Quinn said that Mazi is there being asked to occupy blockers. I don't want to see him flashing. I want to see him taking on double teams, not getting moved around. Dan Quinn said, quote, I'm not worried. So I'm trusting Dan Quinn. I think he sees enough that we can say, okay, there's some good stuff there that Mazi's going to be able to do in year one, but you'll see some of the video. He's moved all around the place. I do think when he's with the better defensive line, Mazi will have much less issues. Jangly Echoes dropping that $10 holler right there. Much love to Jangly. Moving up the board as well. What did Jangly Echoes have to say?
He said, pray for Demo, but we'll be fine. Cox is a great linebacker. I don't know why there's a narrative from casuals that he's trash. Almost every Cowboy analyst from Frisco has nothing but good things to say, and that includes Fish. So,
and again, to me, I was one of the biggest fans of Jabril Cox. I wanted him drafted, and I was so happy we got him. The issue for Jabril Cox is that he has to show more, and he has shown more this training camp. So I'm all in on seeing what he's going to be able to do for us. Like I believe he will be a much improved version. So I'm not worried. Remember, guys, you got to worry about maybe 10, 12 snaps. So I feel fine with Jabril Cox. My only issue is not even with Jabril Cox. It's more about what happens if we have an injury. What happens if we have an injury? then we have, then it could be more of an issue whether he can handle full-time snaps or, we have to call on another guy like a Devin Harper or something. Can we now hang with an injury in the mix and these snaps being replaced? So it's more about the depth, right? I think Jabril Cox can help us, but we got to see if he can do it consistently, and that's what I'm still waiting for.
Now,
right?
It still feels like a big step down from Overshown to Jabril Cox. So it's again up to Cox to show that, hey, no, that's not a downgrade. That's more of a lateral move type of situation. So, well, I'm being honest. He has to do that in some capacity.
Yeah, no, I agree. By the way, Jangly Echoes right behind Brandon James Shea. Brandon's in 8th. Jangly is in 9th. They're in the top 10 right now. Mr. Lavelle's in 10th. Appreciate everybody in the house again. Dropping the knowledge, dropping the love from above, and having a little chit-chat here, a Cowboys chat with us here on a Sunday night. We're wrapping it up this week. So just kind of going back to Mazi for a minute here. He's not there to make all the splash plays. Like Quinn said, he's not there to go upfield and attack. He's there to take on and occupy blockers. Sounds boring? Good. That's what he's got to do. Now, listen, I'm going to show you some video that definitely shows that he needs improvement. Does it mean he's a bust? No. He doesn't mean he suck? No. People understand. I hope people don't think that Jabril Cox sucks, because he does not suck. That really sounds really bad. But the thing is that he is a good player. He just got to get back on it and get more opportunities. I think we're going to see that from Jabril Cox. But when it comes to Mazi Smith, he will get his opportunities. He will get. What do you think he's going to do when he's in there right now with our backups and third stringers? What happens when he's up in there with Hankins, with Micah, with Tank, with Dorrance, with LVE? Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Yeah. With the secondary we got, I'm just saying, what's going to happen then? Well, he'll be able to take on two blockers. I think a lot. Right now, he's the focal point of opposing offenses to attack. That's going to be different when we got Micah and others on the field. So I think Mazi, he is fine. I trust in Dan Quinn. And Micah Parsons himself said this, quote, "I don't know why we put so many expectations on rookies. It takes so long to get adapted to the NFL. Tom Brady destroyed me on opening night in my rookie year. You just got to learn and stay positive. Never make the same mistakes twice." And remember, Micah's out there teaching Mazi Smith the hand stuff, the pass rushing moves. He'll get there, guys. Don't freak out. Mazi is fine, and I believe he will be fine in this Dan Quinn defense, especially when you got the stars on the field with Mazi. That's a whole different ball game, guys. A whole different ball. When Mazi's the number one guy, it's going to be hard for him against starters. But when Mazi's he's the number 6 guy or the number 7 guy you're looking at, that's domination from Mazi Smith, baby. And you know what else has been dominating here, Mr. Jason Renfro.
That's right.
Trickling in another dollar holler right there, and a GO Cowboys. Much love, Jason.
Ooh. Know what Jason had to say?
I know what he said. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Always.
So thank you, Jason. Always appreciate it. Much love.
So as you can see, that is kind of the way I look at, where we're at right now with Mazi Smith. I'm curious to know what you think. Although I guess I should show the video first. I don't want to kind of trick you here.
Ooh. Thank you so much for summing it up, Raymond Rivera. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining the family. Welcome
to La Familia here. So let me get Mazi out of the screen and just show you guys as we get the last comments, the last questions, the last thoughts, and we'll show you what I was kind of talking about when it comes to the whole background situation, Mazi Smith included. So let's put it on here, guys. We already have the video up, so check it out if you have not seen it yet. And let's take a look at the Seattle pregame, and you'll see these guys. Of course, first is our favorite guy to hate there, Stephen Jones, Mr. Cap over here, Cap Boy, Mr. Freaking. They were booing him, by the way. I don't know who's getting signatures out. Yeah, they were booing him. Now there's Pete Carroll, who knows a lot of our guys. Guys like Dan Quinn, guys like Schottenheimer. Now here's Brandon Aubrey. Again, this is from 57 yards. Made it. So we'll see how that goes. Now here's Dak pregame with Biotish practicing. Here's a little play action. Dak looking down the field at the tight end. We've seen this play a couple times, in the game yesterday from our other quarterback. But there's Dak warming up a little bit. They're not really doing anything. Again, not in pads. Here's Cooper Rush going to a receiver to Will Greer there, who gets that ball and throws it back. So they weren't the only guys throwing the ball. Well, actually, here they were. I think this is Greer to Kevontae Turpin in a little practice, pregame practice. But check this out. That's Trayvon Diggs. And watch this pass. I think it's a great pass. Boom.
Jeez.
Fantastic pass by Trayvon Diggs, man. And there's Dan Quinn talking with Pete Carroll. Anyways, here, J-Ron Curse. I mean, look at that speed. He's working the sideline here, the drill. So, I mean, I love the view, too. It's just a great kind of view of this freaking Coliseum. But this is the unfortunate part here. This is DeMarvion Overshown right before the game. It's unfortunate, guys. Again,
healthy, so spry.
Second drive, and he's out for the year. It's unfortunate. And here is Mr. Fight Night here with Tyler Biotish. This is Sam Williams, 54. As you see, a defensive lineman doing a little group work here. It looks like they're in slow motion, but this is their pass rushing style of things here. You got Mazi Smith in the mix, and now keep watching here, guys, because Mazi coming for that ball strip. Here's Mazi. Watch him get blocked out of this play. All right, that's one down. Watch him here getting thrown to the ground on that play. Watch him here getting just washed out of this play, just overplaying he was just so late. And here, double teamed, and then he goes to the next level. He got caught left and right. Didn't know where he's at. He got pushed out the play. Now, Jalen Tolbert on the other side. Look at this. By the way, look at the guy getting happy on the sideline. The first guy off the bench. Number 35, Overshown. Damn, he was just about to go out after the next drive. Here's another play to Tolbert. Boom. These are the quick. If you look from overhead, you've seen the quick routes. This is what's going to be going on for the offense, starting offense. This is quick roll routes. Tolbert had a great game. He had 4 catches, I think 60-something yards. Another one of Tolbert here. A nice route by Tolbert. You can't predict what we're doing anymore. It's not like go to the sticks and stop. Here you watch a little yellow box. That is Wanye Thomas, number 30. Had a great game on defense and a great game on special teams. Look at this play. Boom. This is after the punt by Anger, after the safety. And then here, I think it's halftime, but we'll just call it the end of the game. Everyone's running off the field. And the last guy you see walking well, I guess maybe he's the first guy, but we go to the locker room, check out who's walking. Seems like he's fine, but we know he's not. He's a little limping here. It's DeMarvion Overshown with the limp. Of course, know today. That was yesterday. Now we know today. He, of course, has a torn ACL out for the year, and that's very sad. So I just went through describing everything. I want to know what you guys are thinking in the chat. Maybe I know what you think about this kind of wrap-up situation. Let's get some comments in the chat, and then we're wrapping up the week, crowning some champions. I think everyone's on the same side of things right now. Looks like our leaders, our winners, are about to be crowned here again. We'll get to that in a minute. First, what's the chat saying? What's your thoughts? Any thoughts on you?
Echoes said Cox is a good player who makes tackles. He's better in Jalen. Obviously, he's better than Jalen Smith right now. Currently,
I will take him over Jalen Smith for sure.
But I do have to admit, the way I see it with Cox, it does feel kind of like, hey, we gave you like a handful of opportunities here now to maybe step up into this role, and he never quite did.
Well, again, injury. Now he came back last year, still kind of not 100%. Kind of reminds me of Gallup. But McCarthy stressed that he's doing a lot better, and McCarthy stressed that. Because he's a year removed from this injury, he should be fine. He's going to show he's got it.
Similar to Gallup,
he's got to show it.
Be very different.
But he's got to show it, right? He's got to show it. That's the key here. So again, I don't know if Trayvon Diggs is going to be our third string quarterback, but it might be happening. We'll see.
Yeah. So let me see. Mary Alvarez said, very unfortunate, but hopefully Overshown comes back stronger.
Yeah. But again, some people are saying maybe he'll be back. For the December. No, he's gone for the year. Yeah. Nobody's coming back early. He'll be back. Lucky if he's back full 100% by training camp. We'll be extremely lucky. Lucky almost as much if he's back week 1 at 100%. Mentally as well. That's the thing, Overshown. We need you back, man. Just take the time, rehab, and we'll see you back here next year.
So, let me see. Keep rolling here. I wouldn't mind seeing Dak out there in this preseason game. Yeah, trust me, Mary. I don't think any of us would mind, but apparently Mike McCarthy would mind it very much because, again, no starters expected to play at all in any of the preseason games. And, of course, again, when I say starters, I do mean like our big starters. But
when you say that, we just looked at an injury here. That could have been Micah Parsons in coverage. That's why we don't play the starters. That's why McCarthy don't want to play them. So when we see an injury that happens to Overshown, I guess we're a little lucky. It wasn't LVE, or Micah Parsons, or any of these guys, Dak Prescott. And just let me say one last thing. If Dak Prescott's on the field, I want to see all 5 offensive line starters. I don't want to see, Farniok, Ball, Waletzko, Sim Richards. If we see that, what are we doing with Dak? Dak cannot play. I'm saying, and I want to see Dak. I'll say do not play Dak when you see that happening. That's just throwing out all the different opportunities, all the different thought processes here.
Exactly. So let me roll back a little bit more. What's up, Matt Persico? Thanks for joining us here.
Hey, now.
Let me see. Cam said Cox is kind of like Jalen Smith.
again, I think a better version of him right now. Maybe not when Jalen was at his best, but right now, yeah, definitely better than him. We just got to see him continue to get better.
So, let me see. Then yes, I'm seeing. No, just saying. Quite a few people are just kind of upset that Dak/the offense are not going to get basically any kind of reps there, which just feels concerning.
I know.
For most people.
I'm not too worried. I think McCarthy said he'd rather have a rusty first drive than losing your star player with a torn ACL. That's basically what he's saying, and I cannot. It's hard to argue against that when we just saw Overshown get knocked out for the year and John Stevens Jr. knocked out for the year because of ACL tears.
Yeah,
that's why I can't. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. What McCarthy's doing, I'd rather have that one bad drive to start the year than lose a guy for the entire year. A starter, a star, whoever.
Yeah. So Mary Alvarez said LVE's injury prone too, but hopefully this season that's not the case.
Last year he made it through the whole year. I'm knocking on wood.
He did.
Yeah, the year before that we used him properly in a balanced
with the
way.
Injuries, that means that we might be asking a little bit more out of him.
And so he has to do it. But yeah, last year he did a good job. We managed him properly. I think it'd be better to get it. I'm not saying we should bring in Anthony Barr. But bringing in someone like an Anthony Barr, I think would be beneficial to this team. We'll see if they do it now or they wait until they do it when the cuts are done on August 29th in that time frame. So we'll see. Trayvon Diggs, he wants to throw the ball. Micah wants to run the ball.
Yeah, we just got to keep the ball moving, right? So, let me see. Rolando Rodriguez said, any player can get hurt anytime. Micah was in a plane with his teammate flying. So, yeah, but, I kind of jokingly said, I'm like, you can't tear your ACL in the sky. So, anyway, with that said, baby, let me see. Matt Persico said, I'm always here, guys. Sometimes can't comment. So, all good, Matt Persico. Glad we're able to keep you entertained while you're at work doing the work thing.
Also glad that, I know you can't make it every time, but glad when you jump in here, glad you make it. Shout out, ask some questions, and also, if you watch the replay, you can always comment there below, in those comments. We try to answer them and say what's up. As I'm saying, what's up, Spoony Dog in the house here with us, and many others, Mary Alvarez. I think it's time for those shout outs as we wrap it up here. I will say this, baby. Stubby got 38 points. He got that Mandel on that stream, boss.
There you go.
You know who the current membership gifting champ is. Jason Renfro.
That's right.
He takes it again with 13 gifted memberships, beats the 8 and the 5 behind him. He takes that 3 weeks in a row. Skeptical had it 3 months. Jason has it for 3 weeks.
Huge shout out to
Much
Jason.
love, yes. And last but not least, the guy who took over the Cash App last week, the guy who took over the sponsor of the week, Mr. Snug X. You know why he's here. Snug X, he did it again. He won both of these. Cash App, sponsor of the week. He's taken us through the end of preseason here. Snug X, much love and congrats on the big win there. Now, also I'm going to quickly, before you do your shout-outs, I'm going to do the shout-outs here for those that dropped the love from above. We got some all-stars here, some legends in the house. Jason Renfro, Jeremy Slade, old school style. A. Lavelle, been here forever. Much love to you guys. And, of course, some of the new school guys like Jangly Echoes and Brandon James Shea. Much love and appreciation, you guys. And you guys have kind of been here already a little bit. So you ain't even that new school. You guys are the mid-range school. So thank you all for rocking with us here, right here on My Cowboys Family. Now, baby, you can do the shout-outs now, I guess. So we can, say goodnight.
Of course. Let me see here. We have Cam DCFL. Take it easy. Jangly Echoes, thank you for coming through, of course. Scorpio, representing, much love. We have Mary Alvarez, hello and hi, have a great night. And again, stay safe out there on the West Coast. Please take care of yourselves, guys.
Yes, be careful,
that includes you
be
two
safe.
Frame Rippers, much love to
Yes.
you. Spoony Dog in the house here as well. Rolando Rodriguez, all the way from South Texas. Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett. Matt Persico in the house. Let me see.
Yeah.
Who else is here?
The family's
Mary Alvarez, of course. We have Cam DCFL. Asmodeus in the house. Much love. Yeah, that's actually as far back as I can go here now. So, again, baby.
No last
yes,
comment?
I think that's... There we go. Perfect.
Oh.
So, but yeah, we have one last comment there.
Oh, there it is.
Jangly Echoes with a $5
much love.
holler.
With that,
much love.
by the way, that 5 on it, Jangly goes from like 9th, wherever Jangly was, now 7th here as we wrap up the week. Tomorrow we start a new board, a new week. It resets. Much love to Jangly Echoes. What did Jangly say here with that 5 on it?
Said, let it be known that Cox is infinitely better than Smith.
Yes, Jalen Smith he's talking about. And I agree, Jangly. We agree there without question. And I just want to say this thing here. When it comes to maybe Jalen Smith's best year with the Cowboys, you can make a case for him at that point. But like I said, at this point of their careers, not even close. Jabril Cox, he's got him. Let me put it that way. He's got Jalen Smith. There's no way we want Jalen Smith back here. And exactly what he said. If Dan Quinn released him, there's something about him that there was not. We knew it was an injury release as well, but it was just not the injury thing. He could get injured at any moment. It was more about the inability to help the defense thing. And that's why Jalen Smith went bye-bye. And that's why, actually, that's the same time frame where Jabril Cox was about to step up and was doing great. And then he tore his ACL. Literally the next week. So, that's the way Dan Quinn sees it. And guess what I do say when I hear, do I have to trust this way or that way? In Dan Quinn, I trust. I trust in Dan Quinn. So he made the call. I'm with him. And let's see what he can do now with the Overshown injury. The situation with, maybe some movement back there. See if we can get some guys in the rotation now that can step up. I'm looking forward to the answers going to be given to us by Dan Quinn. So.
Let me see here. So, yeah, amazing games. Much love to you.
Hey, in the house.
Hopefully you and the family are safe out there over on the West Coast with the hurricane and all.
Yeah, stay safe out there. I'm glad we go late here on the East Coast. It's 2 o'clock. But West Coast, it's just like 11 p.m. They're just chilling right now. So, hey, appreciate I can hit you guys up. The Hawaiian peoples, of course, always. Jeremy Slade in the house. But, I know we had Ganja Man also way back when. He was repping the Cowboy, the MCF family stuff there in Hawaii. And, of course, Marco Sepian. He's been the dominator of recent days here. Much love, recent years. Amazing games with a kickoff of a 5 on it. A $5 holler. Mr. Amazing games. What did he have to say, baby?
He said, my MCF, the $5 West Coast holler.
West Side?
Thank you. Amazing games. Always go Cowboys. Always.
Yes, always. You know it, my man. You know it. Much love to Amazing Games. Much love to everybody dropping the love, the support, dropping the comments in the chat. But I want to know from you, baby, as we reset this week, and we're going to take away the score and this loss, whatever. It's more about the loss of the players than it is of the game. We got a new week. We got a new opponent, Las Vegas Raiders, and ourselves. Make sure we stay healthy in training camp. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the practices are on. And if you're in Dallas, you can check it out. But outside of that, after that, it is cut down time. About 5 days later. And then, and we, of course, got a preseason game at the end of the week. So a lot of things still brewing here. We got one more week of training camp. Let's finish strong. Much love to everybody here. Amazing Games. Appreciate you. Stubby goes to 28 points now, Malik Hooker style on that stream boss. And, yeah, Snug X takes the crown. Both crowns. Jason Renfro takes the gifting crown 3rd straight week. And Stubby holds on to that stream boss. On that note, baby, I want you to tell me, why do we do this here on My Cowboys Family each and every day, 365 if we can, for over 6 years, but now we're in our 7th season technically. Why do we do this?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Everything, guys. That's what it's about. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, never forget, we rep that star over everything. And here, My Cowboys Family, deep into our 7th year on this YouTube channel. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever, as always. Go Cowboys! I got 5. Let's get that 6 and beyond, baby. You know the deal. Thank you all for dropping in here, dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long. Again, can't do this without you guys' love and support. Without your conversation, we can't get back and forth on this thing. And we can't learn, you can't learn. Well, we all learn together now. Thank you on that side. Also appreciate the drops of love and support to the channel. Best fans, best family on YouTube right here on MCF. So appreciate you guys there. Now it is time to clock out, drop out for the night officially. Relock and reload. Tomorrow, a new week, a new opponent. Just stay healthy. That's all I'm asking for. So, again, any last thoughts in there, baby, before I get rolling? Or last shout-outs? I don't know if we got everyone
no,
already.
I think, yeah, we hit up everybody here. So
yes, awesome.
Let me see. Spoonie Dog, again, not sure what the difference is, but at least from what we were told, because after our little situation with YouTube, whatever, Apparently,
the simulation.
Apparently, simulations are not technically allowed by YouTube.
We were told by YouTube we got to get permission from EA Sports to do simulations. To play the game is different, but to do a simulation, look, I don't want to mess with it. I just want to talk football.
Yeah,
I really like to do that so we can see this.
As much as we miss the simulations and hate to see them go, we're just not worth it in the overall scheme of things.
Yeah, so trust me, we want to do them. Much love, Spoonie. Much love, Mary Alvarez, Scorpio, Asmodeus. Amazing games, on and on like Donkey Kong. Everybody here in the house, cannot do this without you all. But baby, as we get ready to drop out of here for the night, what do we got to do before we are out, get out of here, and are officially dropped out here for the night? What do we got to do before we get out and drop out for the evening?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh yeah. It's a wrap right here on My Cowboys Family. Thank you for rocking with us on another one, another week, another month, another year. We got to get that 6 and beyond, right, guys? We're sick of having 5. It's time for 6 and beyond. Remind those Eagle fans that they get a little chippy, a little chirpy. Remind them 5 is always greater than 1. Pretty simple, pretty mathematical, pretty factual. Here, another chat in the books, and it was a bad post-game recap because, we lost 2 rookie, high-level potential guys that could, contribute to this team this year, like Overshown, gone for the year with torn ACL, John Stevens, Jr., undrafted tight end. He's out as well, guys. Not good news there. Deuce, though, he got loose. And, luckily, Let's Go is fine. So, let's go. Here in MCF, you know the deal. Navy blue, silver tooth, star for everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here on this channel, right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone. Truly appreciate everybody in the house here rocking with us. Everyone, truly, I want you all right now. Stay safe. Stay safe. Have a good night. Take care. Kicking off a new week. Yes, it's on, but we'll be here tomorrow once again. Kicking a new week off with you guys. Have a good one, guys. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Stay safe. And never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.